I'm a venture capitalist, and here's exactly what I expect my founders to know about finance before I invest in their businesses. Now look, I don't mean that literally. Yes, I expect founders to know basics about taxes, right? Expect them to know that you have to pay a franchise tax, like you have to set up an LLC. You should know the basics about fundraising. If you do not know those, if you don't know how shares work, how voting works, you should read Venture Deals. You'll finish it in 2 hours and you'll know everything you basically need to know about venture capital from that book. But look, as your VC, I'm not expecting you to negotiate the intricacies of a waterfall. I should expect you to know to stay away from bad liquidation preferences, but again, even at that, that's something that I can teach you at the early stages. Now, as you get more advanced in the business, these things become a lot more important, and you should be gaining and learning finance as you go along. But when you're at the really early stages, yes, you should know how to file your taxes. You should know that there are things you should hire an accountant for. You should know about basic ways of funding mechanisms so that you don't accidentally screw yourself over when you're taking funding from an angel investor or from a VC. Outside of that, very little of this matters. Actually, if you're in Canada, you also need to know about SR&ED credits. That's super important. But I'm not expecting you to have a degree in finance as a CEO. Frankly speaking, I prefer to invest in people with technical backgrounds. That means they are not going to know how to negotiate M&A transactions. What's more important than that, though, is that you know what you don't know and you ask for help. A, you know how to use Google. B, trust me when I say when I started in venture, I knew nothing about finance. I Googled everything. And you learn very quickly how these things work, how these rounds are set up, how term sheets work, all of the above. And most importantly, you ask for help when you need it, though. And this is something that I would say for all things in a startup. If you need help, ask for it. If you do not ask for help, help is not going to be given to you. People will assume that you know things. I have had companies go through M&A transactions where they don't know that they should be talking to bankers. They don't know how they should be pricing the rounds. Those are things you should get help from your early investors or people who've been around the industry longer. Those can be advisors. Again, I'm not expecting you to know that. Founders don't need to know that. You should learn it at some point in time, and it's part of the education process. And like I said, when in doubt, read Venture Deals.